If you're not using one of these shakers by SiMagic, I'm telling you now, you are cheating yourself. And I'm going to show you today how you can use this on any pedal. And yes, before you say, I know, I can see my steering wheel have little lights when my ABS comes on. Or I can just use my dash in the game to see this little purple light flash to tell me my ABS is active. But guess what? It's just not the same as feeling this shaker shake your pedal and knowing that, listen, I'm pushing a little bit too hard on the brakes. Now, the best way I can describe this to you is imagine you sitting at home watching your favorite pornographic film. Sha-na-na-na-na.
Oh yeah. Oh, tell me you love me. Tell me you love me.
Now, you are very good at it. You've been doing it your whole life. And guess what? Just like this shaker, you've been shaking it, vigorously, I'm sure. Even with two hands sometimes. Go for it. But guess what? It is not the same as getting it in, is it? It's not the same as doing the real thing. It's just not. So, unless you own a $2,000 pedal set by SiMagic, the active pedals, this year, for $150 odd, it's probably the best upgrade you can make to your pedals. It's amazing. I'm going to show you how it works. Let's just get straight into it. Hello, welcome to another video. Before I actually show you exactly what you're going to need to make your pedals shake, okay, and how to set it up exactly in the software, I want to ask you, the people who are watching, especially if you actually own one of these SiMagic haptic shakers, did it make a difference to your driving? Did I exaggerate in my intro? Or is this just an amazing piece of equipment that you now cannot go without? Because I know myself, I'm trying to big this up because it is a big thing. I myself will not run another set of pedals on my rig unless I can fit one of these SiMagic shakers onto them. Now, of course, it's nothing new shakers. People have been fitting them to their pedals for years. However, I do think SiMagic has simplified it. And I mean, this little shaker is so powerful. Even at its lowest settings, especially here on the back of your foot, you feel the details like perfectly. So what do you need to actually get shaking? You're going to need a shaker, and then you're going to need this little box. This is the P2000 pedal module. And you'll see over here, there's 3 holes here for your haptics. It's very important you stick it in the right hole.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Number 1 is for your clutch. Number 2 is for the brake pedal. And number 3 would be for the throttle. Okay, so whichever pedal, this is the brake pedal. If I shove this shaker on there, I need to put it on number 2. And that corresponds to the brake pedal. Doesn't matter if you're running 1, 2, or 3 pedals. It's important you stick it in the right hole. You will need a bracket. I've printed this one in white so that you can just see how it looks on the pedal, but this is the exact same bracket just in black. And there's 4 holes on the back of your shaker. This will just screw directly into there, and that is your shaker stuck to your pedal. Other than that, you will need a power supply to give power to your shaker and to this. You just plug it right into there, and you will also need your data cable, a USB cable that you stick into your computer, and more specifically, it's just like a printer cable. You do not get that when you buy one of these boxes, so keep that in mind. You might have to buy a printer cable if you don't already own one. The only thing that you need, that you cannot buy directly from SiMagic themselves, are these little brackets you see over here, the ones that I printed in white. If you have a 3D printer, go to any of the 3D file sharing websites and you type in whichever pedals you have and something will come up. I think I got these Acertech ones, all these here I got for free. The only ones I had to pay for the files was for these SimLab pedals. Now, I don't think it was much, it was maybe like £5, something like that. However, if you don't have access to a 3D printer, just go on Etsy. You'll be shocked at the amount of brackets that is available for the SiMagic Haptic Shaker. And yeah, that's all you need to get started, guys. Let's jump into the software. I am very briefly going to blow over the SiMagic software and also just the SimHub software. No need to complicate and bore this process. It's really easy peasy. As you can see over here, I've got my Invicta pedals and I've put a shaker on the throttle and on the brake. It's connected. If I put my foot through there, you can see there is the little pedal module, and you can see it's got power. Everything is hooked up. Everything is ready to go. Now, if you want to keep things simple, just stick with a Sim Pro Manager by SiMagic. You'll see here it thinks we've got, it says P2000 haptics over here. Just click on this and go to feedback. As easy as that. You can vibrate. This is now my throttle. You can see that probably shaking there a little bit, vibrating. And then this will be the brake. And yeah, you can set the frequency over here. The frequency just alters how the pedal feels from a to maybe like a zzz, you know, feeling on your foot. And then you can adjust the strength. You can set it for what you want. Obviously the brake you're going to use for ABS, and then this one you're going to use for traction control when it comes to your throttle. However, remember, iRacing does not give telemetry data for traction control. So if you are running a shaker and you're just racing on iRacing, this shaker is going to be useless for you in this software. But this is a software you should be using. It is SimHub. Okay, you're going to want to come to this tab over here. Now, the best way I can describe this, the two tabs you want to focus on is this one, Motors Output and Effects Profile. I would suggest start with the Motors Output. Over here, each row, each column is for each pedal. All these effects you see over here on the left, where my cursor is, that is only for the clutch. The middle column here is only for the brake, and then this one is only for the throttle. So what you do here is you select what effects you actually want on, and you want to feel in the simulator when that specific effect is being simulated. On the brake, I've only got ABS, as you can see. I've got nothing else set to my brake, and that's the way I like it. Remember, if you can switch all these effects on, and your pedal will vibrate from the second you get in the car until you get out of the car, and you're not going to know why this pedal is vibrating. It's just vibrating. It's a case of less is more. You just want some specific information given to you through, you know, each shaker. So I've got my ABS on over here, and on my throttle pedal I've got traction control on. So you set this here. Now, the only other two things of note over here is here you can set the overall strength. I would keep this to 100. The reason is, if you come to your effects, you can here adjust it. As you can see here, 50% I've got my ABS set to, but you can then that effect you can adjust it how strong you want it. The output here I would just leave at 200. When it comes to the frequency, the hertz, that is the difference in how the pedal is going to feel when that effect is active. So for example, 50 hertz might be drrrt, and or I think it's the other way around. 20 hertz would be like drrrt, and 50 hertz would be like zzz. You know, that's how it would feel under your foot. I don't know how my drrrt actually sounds, but that's the best example I can give you. So then one very important thing, for every effect you've got on over here, it has to be on over here. If you've got this disabled, even if ABS is active over here, but it is not enabled on this side in the effects profile, you won't feel anything in your simulator or your game. Same vice versa for motors. If you've got this not checked and it says off, however you've got this effect enabled here in the effects profile, then you will feel nothing. So make sure it is on both of the tabs. So on and then on over here, and here you can test it, and you can also do some play with the pulses, and you can adjust just how it feels here very, very nicely. And then as you can see, you can come down here and here's traction control. Now as you can see, it says this effect is not supported by iRacing. That's a game I've got here my iRacing tab open, so it knows I'm playing iRacing. And yeah, basically, just quite simply, iRacing does not provide telemetry data for traction control. If you play Assetto Corsa or ACC or whatever, there's a lot of other games that this will be a very valuable feature to you. However, in iRacing it's not. But you can come to your motor's output and you can pick something else, maybe road textures or whatever. I personally don't use the throttle, this one. I don't use a shaker. I've only got it fitted onto the pedals to show you guys how it works. Other than that, normally I've only got this brake pedal. That's the only shaker that I normally run on my pedals. It's the only thing I need is for the ABS, to be honest. If I were to play ACC or Assetto Corsa, then 100% I would say, yeah, go and get yourself a shaker for the throttle as well, as that could be very, very useful to you. Now, that is all the settings you need to know about in a nutshell. Now, there's one important setting I want to show you in iRacing, which is checked by default. And yeah, what it does, it gives this very annoying zzz, very soft. It's like almost like it's, the shaker is set to 10% constantly and it vibrates under your foot. You need to uncheck that checkbox, and then yeah, your problems will be solved. You'll be ready to go. Let me just show you now. So the setting I'm talking about is in a bit of a random place. You're going to go here to, miscellaneous, and you'll see here, vibrate pedals and wheel. As soon as I put that on and I hit done, and I then load a session, I don't know if you can actually hear it, but now under my foot, even though ABS or nothing's active, I can feel my brake pedal is shaking. However, if I go out and I now go and uncheck that again, let's do that. Miscellaneous, vibrate pedals and wheel is off. And now I go in. Guess what? Sound as a pound. Lovely. Let's do a lap or two. Okay, we are doing the production cup. This is only a practice session, so keep your hat on. I'm not going to be ruining anyone's race today. Let's go. And see there? Could feel it clear as day, the ABS under my foot. Once it got to about 65 over there. Now remember, ABS is not always the same. You can feel ABS when you're only on 30 or 40% brake pressure at a high-speed corner like that one, the last one. Anyway, let me focus a little bit here and get you some good footage, shall we? And yeah, so I'll definitely feel it around here. About 70% is normally when the ABS comes on. You can feel it slightly let off. And remember, what's very nice is the harder you push on the pedal, the stronger you're going to feel the ABS underfoot. And then when you get to the more acceptable range, you will still feel it under your foot. However, you can feel it gradually go down as you release the pressure. As I'm releasing my my brake pedal, I can actually feel under my foot the ABS as well, releasing that little bit. I mean, it's an absolute game changer. It really is. It's an absolute game changer. Let's try and do one banging lap here. And we'll see. What's my personal best? A 136.6. Don't think I'll be doing that, not without draft. I'm not that fast. So yeah, I feel it letting off, and then it dissipates. And then over here I might feel it slightly on this high speed corner, even though I'm just low. Nope, I didn't actually feel it over there. No ABS. Nothing over there. So braking is okay. This number one car behind me is pushing. Oh, can you see the mirror? No. So there, 70%. I can really feel the vibration under my foot. And then when I release the brake to about 50, I can then feel that's when it starts to fade away. Really need to keep it in third gear there. It's just a bad habit. I do it every single lap. I shift down there to second gear. My final thoughts, what do I think? Listen here, I think if you've not had one of these SiMagic shakers to any of your pedals, I think you should get one today and retrofit it to whatever pedals you have. Go on to Etsy, buy yourself some brackets. I will list some of the sellers that I've personally used to buy a few brackets from down below. These are only little helpful links. I get nothing from them. I don't know anybody on Etsy. Anyway. The biggest thing for me is the ABS. And it's not just a light on my steering wheel. These lights here flash very nice and bright whenever my ABS is active. However, what these lights don't tell me is how strong the ABS is at that particular moment. It's just telling me it's on and it's off. I don't know if ABS is at 80% capacity or 20% capacity. So what I mean by that, when I'm braking really hard on my brakes, I can feel under my foot ABS is really helping me, and the pedal is shaking quite, strongly. But as I'm letting off the brake, naturally the ABS system in your car will then also let off a little bit, and it will help the car less and less. That progressive feeling of the ABS being used less and less, you actually feel that underneath your foot, and that there is what the major game changer is. It's that there that's going to save you lap time. Because yes, I can tell just from flashing lights that my ABS is active, but I can't feel how much it's actually helping me. Whereas when you feel it under your foot, it's like my analogy there at the start. In the end of the day, you can fap all you want, but it doesn't beat the real thing. Feeling it is, and living it is just the best way. And I think this year is the best solution, unless you can remortgage your house and buy yourself some SiMagic active pedals. I think this year is the best bet. It's the most simplified method to feel a very a very good feeling. Anyway, I'm now just rambling. Please, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It actually helps, send this video out into the world. As always, please consider subscribing, and yeah, I hope your next race is a winner. Hallelujah.